Welcome back to Kin in Line. I make this part 115. Often my drawings were determined by the shape of the page. So I would have taken bits of paper from anywhere and just used them. I wasn't fussy. And on this occasion, I think I was in Michelle, my friend's flat that I shared in the late 80s for a couple of years. And she had a lot of lesbian friends and very popular. So I think these are among them. We also used to go to the jazz together. So that's probably where I did that. And here's another sort of steep foreshortening here, which is a hallmark of interesting drawing, you know. Before we look at that picture, here's Debbie Boyson. She was a reporter on the Evening Post. Jeff Hobson. Yeah. Look at the cheekbone there. That's the kind of thing you need to pick out when you're sketching, you know, just let the picture dictate, let the figure dictate how the picture emerges. So because I had these awkward shaped pieces of paper, it actually makes the composition that much more interesting, I believe. This guy was one of the activists in PE in the 80s, Dominic Souchon. I think he suffered a bit under the security police. Ex-East Londoner like myself. Now we're actually going to move from reality into the other world. You'll see the difference between a drawing from life is that the ones from life, that line has an urgency about it that you don't get. I mean, these things are nice in their own right, I think. But just because they reflect a sort of weird mind, I suppose. But the drawings from life have a, you know, totally different quality to the line. Look at this. You know, you've only got a few seconds. Here, you're just creating something out of nothing. Nice little pipe going straight up his nose. Not a happy chappy. And then this, for a formerly married man, you know, you've got male and female interlocked, at least in the face area, if not below. But there's certainly intent down there as well. So I'm using some nice textured paper here too, which I think this might be pen and ink, because the line is certainly fluctuates, thick and thin. Either that or it's quite a sensitive fine liner. But again, one of my human type, sort of transhuman figures. I'm just saying transhuman in case the World Economic Forum are, looking out and hoping to finance me, like they finance so many other influential people. This guy's face kind of reminds me of Mike Holmes, a photographer we had. I think it'd be cool if we had people with animal bodies like this. I'm going to recommend it to Klaus, my friend, Herr Klaus Schwabi. In fact, this looks a bit like Klaus Schwab. We're getting a little bit into the arena of looking at women. That's a particularly sensitive area. Here's a more sort of safe image. I like to think there's a bit of a Matisse feel to this. Maybe Picasso or somebody. But again, it's all about the line, eh? Yeah. So in the flush of youth with your girlfriend sitting on the loo right next to you when you're in the bath or something, it's kind of what happens in some relationships. And when it's gone again, it's... there was a story about a certain woman at the Herald who was mentioned in relation to a snooker table. We'll go no further. Again, just a few lines capturing an imaginary pose. This is a little bit explicit, but these things happen, And in the flush of youth, doing the nails while on the loo. None of these from life, of course, just from that over-fertile imagination. And now we get into the larger figures. Much like I did in the army, these things still plague me. This one is bending over backwards to please. So this would have been done not long after I got divorced, and I mentioned that we had a parakeet, which was the bane of my life. But anyway, here I have this dreaded bird on her neck, on her shoulder, I mean. That's all just from memory, I guess, trying to process what had happened suddenly. And I think parakeet would also sometimes eat from her mouth, you know. Yeah. So first time I'm seeing this really, since I probably drew it. But a weird little creature running between some very weird legs and arms and stuff. Quite cool. The milk of human kindness flows forth. Yeah, you can't make these things up there. And then just a blast of colour towards the end here. I think there's some quite nice ones here, these colourful things. There's the Parisian master. Oui. And beautiful young lass. This next one is quite disturbing, so if you're sensitive, you might want to just turn away at this point. Yeah, there's definitely a Freudian element here that I wouldn't like to dwell on too much, frankly. And then I think I owe Kandinsky a few words of thanks for these colourful horses. Or was it Franz Marc? Yeah, Marc and Kandinsky. All those early abstract expressionists. We're going on a weird boat ride. A tripled up person. So cool, man. Just getting through this before I run out of time. Here's the theatre. Another theatrical looking or church-like thing here. And then an Easter Island sort of image. Dare we just quickly go through these? One of my upside down, double up people. This is probably my most advanced one. There's a lot happening here. This guy's got a sawn-off look. And finally, a dancing damsel. A little bit naughty. Quite a nice face. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Cheers.